Sydney 2000, I remember at about 4 o'clock in the morning having to go to the loo and noticing at that point that the wind was already up. I knew we were in for a fairly difficult day ahead.
It was a long day. We were delayed I think it was probably 6 hours. We were supposed to race, and for 4 years we had in our head
10:40.
10:40.
10:40.
10:40 on the 1st of October, guns going to go. 10:41, 28 seconds later, we were done. Dan kicked early distance-wise, but he was right on time. So because it was longer, the first half of the race took longer, but so he kicked a bit early, and I can remember it took me a little bit off guard. I remember thinking, right, we're going, you know, we've made our move and we moved.
But you could just sense we're in it and thinking, I've got to go, I've got to give him everything I've got. And it was at that point I thought, there's a period where at some point you've got to go win it. And that was when I kicked early. It was just, we had to take the race. And I think at that point we might have gone through and popped our nose in front, but the Hungos had other answers. They were a 1,000-metre crew and just had more stay than us. So I do remember crossing the line and thinking, well, I won't tell you exactly what I thought the moment I crossed, because there was a lot of swear words in it. But
there's a lot of disappointment.
A lot of disappointment.
Anger.
Immediate reaction was anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, was anger that we'd been beaten. And then I suppose it took me maybe 30 seconds to just compose myself that, hey, that was the Olympic final.
That's it. Yep.
And that's when I tapped Trimmy on the back and said, hey, well done.
Well done.
We raced good. And I think he was doing the same thing. That jolted us out of the fact, hey, that was an Olympic final. We were so focused on doing our job and making sure that everything was as good as we could.
So we paddle over the crowd and some idiot stuck emu on the back of my head, remember that?
Yeah.
And then we paddle back in and they do the ceremony. We went to the ceremony, and I can remember saying to Dan, even though we're disappointed, we just have to enjoy the fact we're going to be on the dais here, because we've raced enough. We've been to 2 other Olympic Games and been on the dais once and not on the dais, and I know how easy it is to not be on the dais. At the Olympic, you get one shot, you've got a minute and a half. It's very easy to be not there.
I didn't paddle for another 2 years, and then I don't know what it was, but I felt I should be paddling, and I didn't get back in a boat, because when I tried to get back in one, I was too heavy. My butt wouldn't go in the new design K1, so I couldn't actually get in one. And then, so I spent a month running just to drop some weight and got back in. And it was a period of I just made the team. We just qualified the boat, and then we just missed the diets in 2004. So I had 18 months of just. I really did just scrape into the team. But my professional career was in sports administration. I worked for the International Rugby Board. I've had a career as football manager in the NRL, AFL and international rugby. So, and then the last 10 years I've been running my own practice that's focused on leadership and culture, but particularly high performance cultures.
I do like to compete, so I'm in real estate and property, and one of the reasons that I didn't get into administration and I didn't get into sports administration is I like to compete, and I found business the most competitive environment I could find outside of professional sport. So I thrive on that ability to take certain actions and get certain outcomes. And in business, and what I've found as we've grown our business, and it was originally mine and now I've got some partners, as we've grown that business over time, I get the kick I used to get out of competing. I have to compete. I've discovered that I can't. I don't think I could be a coach. I don't, I could coach, but I need to get outcomes, and I need to be able, so I needed to find a business that allowed me to fulfill that.
Trimmy's my best mate and couldn't want for more in a brother. So will we do something for our 20th anniversary from Sydney? We hadn't even given it some thought. But
hadn't even occurred to us.
Hadn't even occurred to us.
No.
Because I think our life is filled with more than that. So, but I'm sure when it comes around, we enjoy each other's company, mate. So we'll spend some time together. And
people say, "Oh, do you still see each other?" And well, we're just part of each other's life. It's not that we see each other a lot, but it's like we are just part of each other's life. So whether we do something on that day or not, we'll do something at some point. But 20 years, it goes past pretty quick.
Where's your medals?
I have no idea. I'm moving out. A couple of people asked me, I don't know. I should really keep them somewhere safe, but I don't know.